9,
Sounds
8,
good.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've been warned.
Action. You guys are live. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you for counting us down, Senator McCrory. I'm State Representative Greg Haddad, and I'm going to call the meeting of the Reapportionment Committee to order. This is the first meeting, the organizational meeting of the Reapportionment Committee. There are 8 members who I will ask to introduce themselves in a moment. But I did just want to say that this is the beginning of our process of determining what our new district lines will look like. And I look forward to working with everybody on the committee. As I said, I'm State Representative Greg Haddad. I represent the town of Mansfield in the state legislature, and look forward to working with everybody on this committee as we move forward. I think now is probably the appropriate time for other members to introduce themselves. We might want to start with Senator Kelly.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm State Senator Kevin Kelly. I represent the 21st Senatorial District that represents the communities of Monroe, Seymour, Shelton, and Stratford. And I am current Republican leader in the Senate. Thank you.
People can just jump in, I guess. There's only 8 of us, and so I'm not worried about. But so if so moves you, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Jason Perillo, State Representative from the 113th District, which is Shelton.
Good morning. I'm Vincent Candelora, State Representative for the 86th District, representing North Branford, parts of Wallingford, Durham, and Guilford.
Good morning. Paul Formica. I'm the State Senator of the 20th District, which is a portion of Old Saybrook, Old Lyme, East Lyme, Waterford, New London, a portion of Montville, Basra, and Salem.
Good morning. My name is Representative Tammy Exum. I represent the 19th District, which is West Hartford, Avon, and Farmington.
Good morning. I'm State Senator Mary Doherty Abrams. I represent the 13th District, which is Meriden, Middletown, Middlefield, Rockfall, and Cheshire. And I'm so happy to be part of this committee. I'm really proud of the way that our state approaches this task. So thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Douglas McCrory. I'm the state senator that represents the 2nd Senatorial District, which includes the communities of Hartford, Bloomfield, and Windsor.
Great. Thank you all for introducing yourself. Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Representative Haddad. The election of co-chairs is the first order of business that we need to deal with today. And in tradition, this is an election that rotates every 10 years between the House and the Senate, Republican and Democrats. And in keeping with that tradition, I'm going to call on Representative Candelora to make a nomination for the House chair.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. I would like to nominate Representative Greg Haddad to serve as a co-chair of the redistricting committee.
Second. Any further nominations? I move that nominations be closed and Rep. Haddad has been elected co-chair from the House. Next, we'll open up nominations for the Senate co-chair, and I'd like to call on Senator Mary Doherty Abrams.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. I would like to nominate you, Senator Kelly, for this position as our chair.
Second.
Seconded by
Representative Haddad.
Any further nominations? Move that nominations be closed. Are there any comments any further comments anybody wants to make with regards to the committee at this time? Okay, thank you very much. Rep. Haddad?
Thank you, Senator Kelly. Now that the members have been introduced and you and I have been selected to be the co-chair of this initial phase of redistrict reapportionment, I just want to talk about the importance of our staff. Obviously, this is an important committee. We do it on a bipartisan basis. There are equal numbers of Democrats and Republicans on this committee. There are also equal numbers of House members and senators on this committee. And while we're ready to get sort of make the decisions and get rolling on a process, we couldn't do it without the help of our nonpartisan staff. I don't know if other folks outside of this building understand that in this building, we have a number of people who work as nonpartisan staff resources to both parties in this building. They are trusted and reliable members of our capital community, and they are about to be introduced by the person who will head up the project for redistricting for our staff, and that is Jim Tamburo. So, Mr. Tamburo, if you'd like to introduce yourself and then introduce your staff that will be resources to us, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Representative Haddad, Senator Kelly, and all members of the committee. My name is Jim Tamburo. I am the Executive Director of the Joint Committee on Legislative Management. So I'll be the project coordinator moving forward. And we have a number of very talented nonpartisan staff joining us here today, and we'll be here to assist you all through this entire process. A few official titles and then some folks in the background that I think are extremely important to the success of this project. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce our members from our Office of Legislative Research who will act as our public information officers. That's Kristen Sullivan and Jennifer Proto. Also joining us today is the Director of OLR, Steph D'Ambrose. From ITS, these folks will be acting as our project leads. The office director is Paul Alderucci, and assisting him will be Reno Fioli. Fortunately for us, both Paul Areno and Kristen were all part of this 10 years ago, so they bring some excellent experience and qualities to this team. So we're excited about that. Also in ITS, Cheryl Smith is helping out behind the scenes quite a bit and has done a tremendous job and continues to do so. So Cheryl is joining us as well. From LCO, attorney Michael Tellerico is with us. And behind the scenes, but holding this thing together and the glue to this entire process, Beth Waters, Kirsten Briner, and Tom Spinella. I'm sure many of you have interacted with them in the past through their administrative duties, but tremendous help in getting this meeting together and moving forward as the administrative help here, which is, as you all know, a difficult task and something that we really need and is extremely helpful to us. So thank you all for joining us. One thing I wanted to mention is that between the administrative staff, they've set up the website and an email address for the public to be able to reach out and send us information. Okay, so the email, it's ready to go, and we're looking forward to getting any information that comes in, and we'll take care of it and pass that along to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's important just to reiterate that the committee has a space on the General Assembly's website. Currently, you can find it by clicking committees. Is that right? It's under committees, the subhead, and then redistricting, and it lists the administrators and the staff. Also, the website address, the email address, which is reapportionment@cga.ct.gov. And so that if members of the public want to communicate with members of the Reapportionment Committee, that's probably the best way to contact us or to send information to the committee itself, is using that email address at this point. Um, Senator Kelly, I think we're ready to move on to the next item on the agenda.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it, and we're fortunate also to have, as Jim Tamburo said, we have staff that has worked on this project in prior years. So to keep with the tradition that we've done 10 years ago, it's what we want to do is have public hearings on the plans, and to do so across the state in each of the 5 congressional districts. Obviously, with this year and the challenges associated with COVID, we're going to have to work and get through those challenges to see what it will look like. But we do want to make sure that we get as much public input as possible. And also another issue that is a challenge is that the census figures have been delayed until the mid-April, not mid-August. So that is going to also be a challenge that we're going to have to work through. But what we want to do is make sure that we work with nonpartisan staff to set up these meetings to make sure we get as much input as possible. And as you mentioned, Greg, if people want to contact us, they can do so through the CGA website and the email and get information and input if anybody has any suggestions or comments on the process. So I look forward to working with not only all the committee members, but also the nonpartisan staff, because I believe that it's their experience and professionalism that will assist in moving this project forward.
You want to mute there, but I just want to make sure, are there any other questions about items under item agenda 4? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5, which is the commissioning of a website. Typically, the Reapportionment Committee has put together a comprehensive website that includes important information about the access. It's access for members of the public to data that we received, any data that we will receive from the federal government, any plans that we might have considered, relevant court cases, our legal authority, and obviously information about the membership of the committee, and that sort of thing. Typically, it's ITS that helps put together that website design. I think we'd like to get that website up as expeditiously as possible, and so I wanted to check with members of the committee to see if you would authorize the chairs of this committee to approve the publishing of a website once it's designed by ITS, before our next, even if that occurs before our next meeting. That way we can get as much information up for the public as early as possible for them to look at. I think that we, both Senator Kelly and I can commit to sharing that information with other members of the committee for comment and prior to its publishing. But I think if you authorize us to approve of the posting of a website, that will probably be the quickest way to make sure that we get it up. I would mention that just this morning I looked at the 2011 website. This isn't rocket science. I think that what we will do this year will likely look a lot like what we did 10 years ago, and that'll look a lot like, as I understand it, looked a lot like what the one we did 20 years ago. The important part is that members of the public can know what our timeline and processes are, and the information, have access to the information that we have when it comes time to draw maps. So I guess I would, I think we can do this by consensus, but if it's the consensus of members of the committee that the chairs can approve the publishing of a website, then I'd like to sort of see if folks have any indication now about whether or not you think that would be an appropriate thing to do.
I think given the time crunch, it would be wholly appropriate to have the two of you move this along, because I think we're all interested in making sure the public has access to this information. So I would certainly support that.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. I guess without any sort of expressed opposition, I'll take that as consensus that that's the way they'll go. And Senator Kelly and I again will work with individual members of the committee to make sure that the website meets our common expectations. Senator Kelly. I think you're on mute.
I love these Zoom meetings. Thank you, Representative Haddad. Our next meeting will be scheduled by myself and Representative Haddad after consulting with each of the members on the committee, and then we'll post the actual date after the consultation. So with that, Representative Haddad, I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah, the only thing left to do in this meeting is to adjourn. And so unless if there are any other questions or comments by members of the committee right before I make a motion to adjourn, this is an opportunity to ask them. Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Is there any objection? Thank you very much for attending our first meeting. I look forward to working with all of you on this important topic. And this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.